Michael Jones. I was in the printing industry for years. I've now switched over 17 years ago to sales manager of a construction company and rehab multifamilies all over the country. And hopefully plan on retiring in 8 years or so.
Let's see, I'm Paula. I have been a nurse for 35 years. I have 4 sisters and a brother. I come from a big family. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I live a full, big life, and I have a lot of energy.
We heard about TARDIS through my brother Stephen, who's partners with Carlos, who works for TARDIS, and probably about 4 or 5 years ago is when he introduced us, probably 5 years ago, to the concept of TARDIS, and then took it from there.
Let's see, the challenges I had before TARDIS would be that I'm not a risk taker, and so my father always taught me to not have any debt, and I didn't have any debt, but I like to live a big life.
The challenges I believe we had before TARDIS was just figuring out a plan for retirement, on working with brokers, the typical save up so much money and then retire and live your golden years. So we didn't know what that plan was and tried to figure it out and came across a lot of stumbling blocks.
So you guys have taught me a lot about how the need is to really plan for retirement, because you got to have a plan, and I never really thought about it as much as I should have. Let's see, we have 12 properties. How many three first trustees? We've done 9 flips, so that snowball has grown. I would say for the first 2 years, we were like, I don't know about the snowball. But man, come year 4, boy, do we see the mass of this snowball, and boy, do we see how it is rolling, growing, and we cannot totally explain the mass of this snowball.
And I think the biggest thing in starting with TARDIS, in the beginning, the first 1.5 to 2 years, you just have to have the patience and wait till that train gets on the track. And if you stay the course, then you'll see it definitely snowball, as you guys call it. And the volume of doing your flips and everything and still doing that fast burning fuel is unbelievable. And the numbers just don't lie to what we see, you know, and the opportunity for some tax benefits, cost sags on the houses, and then, you know, just the overall things that you guys have taught us, from mortgages on rentals to the taxes to land conservation easements for tax breaks, things like that are just, I mean, invaluable.
And just the philosophy of just being more in control versus letting others control your destiny. That power of us being in control versus letting others where you don't have that control. That was so powerful. Or the lessons you taught us about the scripts of money, what we're ingrained with. And those lessons were so much easier because of the discipline that TARDIS. It forces us to have those talks every month. We look at our numbers every month. We were not doing that prior. And now we're doing that cost accounting on our own financials. And it forced us to do a will, to sit down and have those hard discussions, even end of life documents and what we want to happen and who goes to what. And we have now done all of that homework, and that is due to you guys and that discipline, and it has taught us so much about each other, and we feel good about it. And that was like, we are on the same page, and we don't need to have hard talks because we've already had them, and it feels very good.
If we would have started TARDIS 5 years earlier, it would have been just a great benefit to be that much further along. We believe that it works. You know, it takes that 2 years, so we'd be 7 years strong into it, and I believe we would have just been that much closer to being able to retire.